Hi. I know it's been a little while since I've made one. Had a cold. That's why. Was stuffy for 4 months. But anyways, so we are now reading. What are we doing in class? What am I teaching right now? Teaching lots of stuff. So the five people you meet in heaven. Well, why? Well, the biggest reason is this fella hates his job. Who cares? Because a bunch of I'm pointing towards desks. Bunch of them will hate their jobs. Bunch of you will hate your jobs. It's common. There's a misery to it. At one point in here, they make a nice little metaphor, one of our vocab words, and a very useful word, metaphor, applies to everything. But the character states something along the lines of that when he looks out and he sees fishermen pull up their nets and all the fish that are in it, he feels like those fish trapped in a net. Yeah. So we got to deal with this. So we cover this book, and we cover the idea that sometimes, even though there might not be a great joy to your work, there's a purpose to it. And that purpose might be just to make money because your true purpose is taking care of Cody McGoatface. And when you see things through a different lens, like he's going to, that works. In terms of content, we're covering irony, the three types. Well, why? Because I want my students to be able to enjoy a story. If you can see the tricks the author is doing, you can see the tricks the musician is doing, whatever variety of art you prefer. When you see the trick, you're like, it's like if somebody explains a sporting maneuver to you, and then you see it in a game, and you're like, that's the yeah, yeah. It allows you to appreciate things because you understand it on a slightly less superficial level. Apparently, I don't know words. I need to learn my words. So, the first type of irony is the main one. And I essentially tell them most of the time, don't use it. And for most of you, just don't use it. Don't use irony. Don't reference irony because it's probably coincidence. Oh my gosh, you have an expo marker in your hand? I have an expo marker at home. Hey, one, you probably stole it from me. But two, so it's not ironic. Oh my gosh, your birthday's in October? My birthday's in October. That's so ironic. No, my birthday isn't even in October. And that wasn't verbal irony either. I just lied. So the reason we need to know about this is number one, so the grammar Nazi can't call us out. Say that's not even just so just be aware that irony involves a setup and the opposite of expectations. I point out verbal irony because we use it all the time in real life. We're sarcastic. We often say things that aren't quite true, but we're not purposely lying. How do you feel about the breakup? Oh, I don't even care. You sure? Sure. Third one is dramatic irony, and again, that builds suspense. So as a teacher, I need my students to know irony, so they know irony. It allows you to enjoy a story. The note today deals with daddy issues, and I'm not trying to minimize the impact. I'm not trying to use a verbal irony technique of minimalizing a term, minimalizing a concept. No, we call it daddy issues. Uh, Eddie, the main character, has big time daddy problems. That's not a knock on Eddie. It's not a knock on his dad. It's not disparaging it. It just, yeah, he doesn't get along well with his dad. And the structure of life means that it's easier with as much support as possible to get through a situation. And if you don't have as much support as possible, it's harder. And as a result, I covered a couple songs that deal with daddy issues. Father of Mine did the first few moments of that. Faster Pussycat, House of Pain, which everyone was like, they're so underrated. Are they? They're okay. Underrated? Hmm. I think we throw that term around too often. But any band that we like and someone else doesn't seem to like as much, they're underrated. Hmm. All right, so that's what I did today. That's all. Okay. Glad we had this time together. Sorry I was sick. I wasn't sick.